Settings. Hold on. We're not seeing that because for the attendees on the video, meetings always display participant name on their videos or always show video preview dialogue when joining a video meeting. That's checked. Is there anything else I'm supposed to check? Why is it not? Yeah, I can hear people talking, but their videos are not working. Is there an option for them to host with me? Can I let them host with me then? Is there an option that I can let them host with me then so the video will come on? But it just says more, disable talking chat, promote to panelists, rename, remove. That's the only options I have for the panelists. And I make So no one has video capabilities, right? What we're saying?
You have video capabilities, you can do video. Nope.
Oh, weird. All right, you see that? Then the options.
You want to end it and start a new thing?
Did I end it and start again, Christian? Go up there.
Cameras on it?
Attend.
On home phone?
Huh? He pops up on the screen. Hello, hello.
You have to go
Hi,
out.
I'm just trying to get the video going. I'm sorry.
Somebody else thinks it's how
Everybody
everybody
do it again.
No, that's a video. Like, about verse 2, it's like,
Where? Meeting? Meeting? Yes. 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 Unmute video, disable talking, remove, rename, hide, non-video participants. It doesn't give me that option. Where?
My grandma's not on it. Why I don't see her name popping up? I don't see a lot of it. Her name is not her actual name. Okay.
Now what?
Cosita. She's on. She's watching it. I just turned it on. I'll show you more on her line.
Okay, we're here. Yes, okay. Again? Yes, I do. On the what button? I don't see that. It just says, I'm on his name, talking committed. Now more, disable talking chat, promote to panelists, rename, remove.
Promote to panelists.
Okay.
I can see you, but I don't think you can see me.
You can't see him.
Yeah, bro, we good now. I can see other people, but they just got to activate their camera and turn on their mic.
Yeah, they activate their camera.
Okay.
There's no video. There's no video on this side.
If you look at the bottom, if I'm on my phone on Zoom. If you tap a screen, you got to press start video. Look.
Okay, now, yeah, he did it.
Everybody has to press start video. Start video.
There you go.
There the beautiful faces. I see you, Alicia.
Okay, great.
I'm doing good. How y'all doing? Everybody else, you have to unmute your mic and press start video.
Okay, is that we good now?
I'm good.
All right, is everybody else good though? Can you tell them to do what you just did?
It's muted and they have to start their camera.
Yeah, everyone else is muted.
Okay.
You just text the group chat, unmute, and start video.
So how do you come down to the rest of these panelists?
Because I'm on my phone. I'm not on my laptop. So now it's me, you, and Alicia.
Okay.
What are you trying to do?
Where's the rest of the panelists though?
They're here, but they have to unmute. I'm restarting because I don't see that option on computer.
Everybody's not.
Oh.
No, not them. But how do you get the rest of the?
Oh, Mom, you gotta tell me.
Him? Yes.
Okay.
Keep going down. Julianne.
Okay.
Did you do her?
Mama.
Julissa. Hit
Okay.
her. Let's keep going down. Okay. There you go.
Hey!
Hi. My God, help us. All right, get in there.
It's the noodles powder.
Technology, God help us.
I love it.
Love it. Hi, Trophy.
Hi.
Beautiful. All right, let's see what's going on with Big D now. What about Bodega and Tweet? My glasses on so I could see.
Bodega may be, he had to rehearse with Tori for that show tomorrow that they have with YouTube, so he may be rehearsing.
Okay. All right. Okay, I see Big D. Hold on, let's help Big D get in. D, can you hear us? And Ron. I don't know what happened to Ron. Ron was having trouble. Oh, there goes Ron.
Whatever you did for me, do for Ron. For me, I'm the same issue.
Okay, cool. Hey, Big D.
Boy,
D, you sipping tonight?
Oh, we sipping a lot. We pre-gaming.
Hey, I'm sipping with the birthday. You remember them?
It's D's birthday, guys.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. It's actually tomorrow, May 1st, but you know, we start early.
Starting early. Starting early.
There you go, Ron. Okay, Ron Mills is here.
Ron Mills is here. Look at you, Ron. You're looking all special and professional. We love you.
You as well. Yo, D, you didn't tell me it was your birthday, D. What's popping with you, man? We were just talking.
That's tomorrow, Slum. Tomorrow, May 1st.
All right. So we a little early.
All right, so everybody on, we have Alicia, D, Trophy, Venus, Flea might be late. Etho's on. Jade is on.
Yeah, I'm right here.
So Tweak Tune, you're going to call Elijah. Jack is on. And Ron is on. Awesome. So you deal with Tweak, Letho, and then we'll just keep going. So thank you, and thank you guys for your patience, and thank you for coming. Welcome, guys, to part one of Crib Conversations. This is our panel discussion on the shift in music and the masses. I want to introduce myself. I will be your moderator tonight. My name is Camille Evans. I've been in the music industry a little over 2 decades now. My specialty is marketing and media. I started off as an intern at Sony Records, and after 6 months, I was hired by my mentor, and I never looked back. And so I just want to thank music for the opportunities that it's given me, opening my palette. And if I had to do it over again, I'd do the same damn thing. So thank you. I want to also thank our whole Cinematic Music Group and our fearless leader, Johnny Shipes. Most of you know Shipes is legendary in the business for unearthing and finding great talent and promoting the culture. He's responsible for finding the likes of Nipsey Hussle, Sean Kingston, Joey Badass, Flip De Niro, Young and Ace. So shout out to Shipes and the Cinematic family for blessing my crazy ideas. All the artists, Cameron, Smoke Dizza, Lil Kel, Abby Jasmine, and the rest of the team, we really appreciate you. So I just want to go through like the rules of engagement. I have a few questions and a little more than a few, but questions that are catered to different specifics and genres in the music business, from marketing to media to A&R, radio promo, and I will be calling out specific panelists to answer those questions and just expand on the knowledge that they've attained from their specialties. And then when they're done, we'll open it up to the rest of the panel. You guys are open to elaborate, to contribute, whatever you feel like doing. And then if not, we'll just jump on to the next question. All I ask of you is that when one panelist is talking, if we can just kind of mute our mics so we don't get a lot of feedback and distortion. And that's about it. So my panelists, I'm about to introduce you. Again, I'm honored that I called and you're like, let's do it without hesitation. Thank you for feeding the culture. A lot of people always want to be in our shoes. They don't understand what it takes to wear these shoes, but it's important for us as executives to lay a foundation for the next generation. And I'm hoping that the audience will get something out of tonight to feed and inspire them. So when I call your name, please just let the world know who you are, what you do, and how you got started in the business. Let's start off with Alicia.
You have to call me first. Hey, Camille, first off, thank you for having me. I really appreciate just being a part of this. I'm really honored to be on the panel among all of you. So my name is Alicia Gooding. I'm the founder and co-owner of The Code. We're an experiential brand marketing agency that specializes in marketing strategy, public relations, and everything around events. I started in the business, honestly, through an internship. I was supposed to be interning at a marketing firm for 6 months, like 6 months field marketing intern, but the company had clients like Nike, American Family Insurance, Pepsi, Doers, all these crazy brands. So I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to do it. Like, I never get an experience like this in my life. I'm from a small town in Jersey. So 2 weeks into the internship, the CEO hired me to be his executive assistant. And then over the course of 3 years, he promoted me into being a lead account director, and I never looked back. I did everything from large scale event execution, bringing in brand partners, to working and bringing in talent acquisitions for different celebrities. So from there, I started my agency in 2014. And we started on the entertainment side, really working with like television personalities and models. And I was approached by Highbridge when they had A Boogie and they had just signed him to Atlantic. And I rolled out A Boogie's first project under Atlantic. And after that, I just knew that I loved music. I loved everything about music. I loved figuring out how to transition artists into brands so they have longevity, not only in their music career, but just in their life, in a way for them to have real footing. So 6 years later, we're still here. We've transitioned into management, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Amen, girl. And thank you again, my sister. Big D, where you at, Big D?
Big D is right here. Let's talk about it. Big D, the weatherman, is my industry name. The government is Derek Pearson. Been doing this for a long time. Got my first industry gig back in 1995, working for Wu-Tang on the street team, doing that, doing Sons of Man, et cetera, et cetera. Got my first label gig in 96, working at Geffen, doing college radio promotions. Did that for 2 years, merged with MCA Records, where I met, no, I didn't meet Camille just yet. I did that from 97 until 2004,
Yes, you did.
2005.
MCA at the same time, D, I think.
Actually, when I got in, you had just left.
Okay, cool.
But I did meet you in 05 when I got to Universal. You was over there starting trouble. And yeah, I was over there for 11 years working with, again, Universal Records, you know, sold a lot of records back then. Worked with Nelly, Chameleon there, the whole Cash Money roster, et cetera, et cetera. Did that. From there, went on to, after Universal, did some independent stuff. You know what I mean? Worked, like she just mentioned, worked with A Boogie over at High Bridge. Did some stuff with them. Did some stuff with E1, Commission Records. And then did some stuff with Rock Nation, where I, again, rejoined with Camille over there back in 2017. And then 2018 led me to a full-time gig over there, and I'm currently there right now. You know, working over there, working from home right now, but currently, you know, under salary with Rock Nation right now. So I've been doing this for about close to 25 years, and I love every minute of it. I hate the behind the scenes fallacies that do occur, but that's just how business is for the most part. But yeah, it's just in my blood, it's in my DNA, and I get to communicate regularly with guys like Ron Mills on a regular basis. You know, calling him up and harassing his ass every week or so. But yeah, beautiful thing. Looking forward to the conversation, y'all.
Thank you, Big D. Trophy, you're up next.
I am?
Yes, ma'am.
I started out at 300 Entertainment, working under the people in the A&R department, like Salim, Ashtab, those were my mentors. And I got a full-time position working with Shipes about over a year ago, as a full-time A&R. I've been doing it for the past year and a half, and I've been helping with the likes of I started doing A&R stuff for Young and Ace. I signed 2 artists, Little Soldier, and I just signed my second act, Newski 2 Squad, not too long ago.
Trophy is one of our new female A&Rs, and we don't get too many females A&R, so we applaud her and support her in everything that she does, and you're gonna have a really great ride, Trophy. You're dope. Is Venus on? I didn't get to see her. Did she pop in yet or no? All right, I'll text her and I'll get her in. Bodega Flea may pop in. As we all know, Tory Lanez is winning during quarantine. And Lito, what does Flea do? He DJs for Tory?
Flea was the active DJ during quarantine radio. He's also a heavy hitter DJ. Good kid, took over Tampa, moved to Miami, took over Miami. So right now they're rehearsing for the YouTube show that Tory Lanez has tomorrow.
Cool. All right, Venus, I see you. I'm trying to get you in as we keep the conversation going. Lito, you're up next. Let me put my glasses on and try to help you. Yeah, Lito.
Again, go by Boss Life, Lito. I come from good stock, so I'm not gonna sit here and I've got a lot of my respect out of the mud and doing a lot of things on my own. However, my pops was signed to Atlantic back in the 90s. My mom is the beautiful mediator of this conversation, Camille Evans. So I've been blessed to just grow up around hip hop and music my whole life. Grow up around dudes like Big D, like Troy Marshall, like Ashley Fox, and just I've been blessed to be a part of music my entire life. At this point now, I'm head of A&R for an independent label called Run It Up Records. I was blessed enough to meet my mentor while I was doing a Rock Nation internship. And since then, I've done 7-figure deals with Def Jam, Motown, RCA, And these are all independent artists as well. You know, what we've done out the mud independently.
Cool. Thank you, Lisa. Just a quick break. Venus, what does she have to do to get on? Because I just promoted her to panelist.
If she downloads on her phone, all she has to do is click unmute and start videos at the bottom.
Yeah. Hey, she's here. Wonderful.
I think I'm on now.
There you on now, girl. So I kind of missed the beginning, but Venus, Lito, you done?
Yeah, I'm good. Let the drip god Venus go.
Yes, he comes from really good stock, people, if I say so myself.
Yeah, I heard you guys. It was just hard for me to get in. I'm not too sure. Okay. But could you repeat the question, though?
Yes, Venus. Can you let us know who you are, what you do, and how you got started in this business?
Okay, so I'm Venus Rose. I have a creative agency called House of Creators. I would consider it a one-stop shop for artists and brands and media platforms. We do creative direction, styling, marketing, PR, video editing, photography. I would say everything creative, and it's definitely like geared towards the new generation. As you can see, like with my virtual background, these are a lot of the artists that I work with. So I started at The Source. Started at Source magazine through college, interning. From there, I started freelancing with All Def Digital, working with different labels, and I would say I kept creating content and went viral. And then the record labels were beginning to contact me, and that's how I started working with a lot of artists. Yeah, it's an agency, a creative agency.
Awesome. Thank you, my sister. Love you back. Miss Jade, you're up.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jade. So I've been in the industry for about 10 years. Thanks for having me, Camille.
Thank you, sweetie.
I was blessed to be around a lot of OGs. I started off in radio. So I interned throughout college at Power 105 with DJ Clue. Then I went to Sirius XM. And then my career took a turn, and I was at BET Networks for 4 years. So I was in TV. After that, I decided to get back into music. So I started doing marketing at Sony Music, Global, did a lot of those campaigns over there. I went to Tidal, and now I'm at Atlantic Records doing all their rising urban acts. So I have Gucci's 1017 artists, working with Trey Songz and a lot of the other artists that they have there.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jade. Jack, CEO of V-Files. Miss Jack, where are you?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, beautiful.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm really honored to be here amongst all you guys. I actually wrote my down. What did you say? Who you are, what you do, and how you got there. Okay, ready?
Yes.
So I am Julianne Quay. I'm the founder and CEO of V-Files. How I got here, I'm Australian. I came to New York City in 1993. And I was pregnant, and my first job was, I'm in the fashion business. So my first job really was to be the studio manager of Steven Meisel, who's one of the greatest fashion photographers out there. And anyway, I think the more interesting thing is like why I started V-Files. That's more appropriate for the panel. And I really started V-Files as the answer to a question, the question being like, why can't I? I was seeing that, in 2012 when we started V-Files, I was seeing that, there was such a barrier to entry. And I was at that point, I was the executive editor of V Magazine, and it was so obvious that to me, all the kids that were locked out of the party were the kids that were the future, as opposed to what was going on in all these parties and events. And it was, everyone seemed to need this golden ticket to be whoever they wanted to be. And so we started V-Files because I wanted to say, you know what, you don't need to have a golden ticket. You can be whoever you want. V-Files started as the answer to that question. And we're a community of models, photographers, stylists, brilliant artists, musicians, DJs, creatives. And, our mission is to connect and empower youth. And so how we got to being here on this panel is that, if I was to leave one legacy, it will be to be the champion of the youth and to be creating opportunities for them on all sides, and to, show them how to be heard and make noise. And, V-Files lives at the intersection of fashion and music. And that's where culture is. And, we're really excited to be here. I'm so excited to be here and talk to you and to learn from you guys as well.
Thank you, Jack. And last but not least, Ron Mills.
Hey everybody, thanks Camille for the invitation. Give me a second, hold on. Appreciate Fatal, I appreciate Shipes for all the invitations to come to this, this webinar. Peace and respect to everybody in the room. I'm 19-year veteran music, program director currently of Eminem Shade 45, Sirius XM, Hip Hop Nation, multiple amount, probably 11 online hip hop stations, also on the Sirius XM app. Member of the Heavy Hitters as well. I'll be honest with you, how I came in is just basically, just me and the love of music. I know a ton load of sorry, I cursed a lot, so pardon me.
Please be yourself, people.
I'll say that up front.
Please be yourselves.
I know a trailer load of DJs, and that's how I mainly came in, programming and breaking a ton of the artists that you guys work. I've been there from the beginnings of a lot of them, and now that we're here, we're discussing cinematic. Me and Shipes broke a lot of artists together. Rest in peace, of course, Nipsey, Big Crit, Luke Kell. Speaking of with D, me and him broke a lot of artists. Everybody on the Atlantic and every label across the board. I've been a part of a lot of careers, and I've been a part and a partner. I would say a partner in in the building of these careers of these great artists. And it's been a long road, but we're getting there, and it's an ongoing battle to let the youth know and how these the rules are for music and how they're changing. So it's just been fun. And Sirius XM, of course, we're just to be there I've been there for close to 20 years now. I said 19, but I'm close to being there 20 years. Like, we turned on the lights, and just working with Eminem, that's been an amazing ride, with him, 50 Cent, and countless others, and just a lot of the DJs, and learning from them and knowing what's hot on the street, so it's been a learning experience. So, I'm glad to be here, glad to partake in this conversation.
Thank you, Ron.
I appreciate you.
Appreciate you back, my brother. I really do. This music business is a brotherhood, and we all have worked with one another. It's so intertwined. And I always say, which comes off so weird, that it's so incestual, because it's like it's hard to get in, but once you get in, it's always a change of hands. So that's why some of us have such really great connections with one another. It's a 24/7, 365 day a year job, and it takes a lot out of you. So you really have to learn how to balance. I want to start off because the gatekeepers of music are A&Rs, and so I want to start off with A&Rs, with Trophy and Letho, and then we can open it up, because there is nothing without the A&R, and the realm of A&R has changed so drastically from back in the day to now. So Trophy and Letho, whoever wants to go first, my question to you is, what is the purpose of an A&R, and how has your role changed as an A&R in this changing climate that we are in? You are really, you can't give me back in the day that you can fill in, but I just want to know, what do you do? Why are you so important? Are you the gatekeepers to the music?
Without A&R, music won't come out. So, we sit here, we clear records, samples. There's a lot of paperwork that people don't know about. I think the misconception is that we just find the talent and that's it.
Right. Break that down. How does that work? Because
well, okay, after you find the talent, you still have to create a vision, goals for the artist, and create rollouts and things that will help the artist actually grow. And yeah, people just have this misconception that it's all set in stone, okay, it's gonna blow up on its own. No, you have to sit there and still groom the artist. A&R still exists. You still have to develop. It might not be the same development. We might not be in the gym with the artist like you guys were before, or whatever it was, but there's still grooming and developing that has to, go on. there's not even a lot of rehearsals and stuff now. Like it's just more. I don't even know. Like it's a lot of crosshairs with this job too. Like you find yourself being the therapist and manager. Like A&R is a lot. It's you wear multiple hats.
Right. Lito.
Yeah. So now, I mean, Trophy definitely hit a lot of the points, and I've been blessed to come from the era and watch, you know what I'm saying, my moms and my pops and understand artists that you really have to develop them, like she said. Like the most important thing about being an A&R is artist development, and I honestly get the advantage over, you know, A&Rs that work for labels because I get to raise young men and women. Like I have to raise them. I have to teach them what's right, what's wrong, on top of still keeping it professional to the point where I help them succeed in their career. But the most important thing is still making them, you know, making sure that they grow up, especially because I deal with a lot of young artists, making sure that they grow up, you know, righteous young men and women. Otherwise, though, back to what she said, a lot of paperwork. I really don't do that shit until the project's a month. If I got 30 days to drop the project, that's when I'm really working on all that paperwork and, you know, just dealing with producer decks and negotiating, you know, royalty rates and publishing rates and payout advances. So, like, you know, that's a lot of stuff that they don't see, and the A&R is very important because the music won't even get to D for him to make them calls if I don't handle what I got to handle.
So now that you said that, picking up from that, what are the key elements to a great song? When you guys are working with finding talent, like what's the mechanics of like a great song?
Trophy.
I don't think there are actually like key elements to a great song. Like, you know, it's really up to the audience. I mean, the audience really picks and chooses, you know, what's a great song. There's so many different like variations of hip hop now. Like we had XXX Uzi, Meek. Like it's really up to the audience and the people. You know what?
When you guys are creating this, if you think it's a hit, but you still don't know it's right.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Lito. Go ahead and I'll go on.
No, I'm honestly say this. I mean, what artists don't understand and what A&Rs, I feel like, you know, no disrespect, but I feel like a lot of A&Rs aren't teaching the hit formula. Like a lot of these artists are just doing 12-bar verses and 4-bar hooks, and then they bringing the verse back in, or they starting the song off with the verse, and like, don't get it twisted. Sometimes, you know, that may be a hit or miss, but what I've seen and what I've learned, you have way more success if you follow the hit formula. If you orchestrate your song the way it's supposed to be, so that the listener can vibe to it and they can start remembering those lines, and you know,
I have to disagree because
okay, that's what we for. Yes.
Like if you look at somebody like Cowboy, who had a song that was a minute and 20 seconds or whatever it was, and it went triple platinum or whatever it did. I don't really think that there's a formula to a hit song, you know, like it's not like back in the day where it's a hook, verse, hook, verse. I mean, these kids are getting away with the bare minimum at this point, so I don't think there's a real formula to a hit anymore.
I mean, getting away with the bare minimum and having a longevity career is two different things. Like I understand they catch the little home runs on the minute and 20 songs, but if you listen to Cowboy's album, none of them songs is like that. They all well orchestrated 2-minute and 38-second songs. So like I get it, I agree with you. Don't get it twisted.
Project at the end of the day.
I'm not gonna put a barrier on the creativity. However, I'm going to teach them how you going to last long in this business. And DJs ain't playing them weirdo songs all the time. So you're going to have to figure it out, just like DaBaby, just like Lil Baby, just like all these artists that I hear on the radio all day that figured it out.
So we're talking about a lot of artists. My last question before we segue, and I'd like to open this up to the whole panel. In the last 3 to 5 years, what do you guys feel has been the best produced song that you've heard so far, excluding your own project? What do you think has been the best song within the last 3 to 5 years?
Well, I'm gonna say Atlanta production has really had the game on lock for a while. So, I mean, shout outs to Atlanta producers, but I just heard the Donald Glover project. My man played the Donald Glover project the other day, and I really liked the production on that project. He was messing with frequencies and all different types of sounds, and I probably have to say whoever did the production on Donald Glover's last album.
Nice. What about you, Cho?
You said the best song to me?
Yeah, the most well-produced song that you've heard, excluding your projects, within the last 3 to 5 years, that you were like, wow, like they did that.
I don't know. I would have to say maybe most of the Drake projects.
Why do you say that?
Because it's very good at, I guess, cumulatively like coming together. Like it's not all over the place. Yeah, I would have to say those, I guess.
Can I chime in? Can I chime in here real quick?
Yes.
I think that this is a very important note to everybody. Is like I respect what Delissa said, what Lito said with regards to the hit formula, but I think it's a lot of trial and error. Just going back to that question, because a lot of times these artists have one big platform, and that's these festivals. And it's a lot of times where these artists test records into the crowd, and I think that that's the biggest factor in finding out whether you got something on your hands or not. Sometimes they just test out records. You know, for example, a lot of Joey Badass, Action Bronson records became big records because they just tested them on the crowd and found the impact there. You know, sometimes it kind of works that way. You know, and in your most question, I believe that the TDE family, the last few years, between them and J. Cole and Weezer, I think that their sound has really formulated everything, because I think lyrics were important. Lyrics were missing a little bit. And what Kendrick did, what Cole did, you know, I think that was something that everybody just sat back and said, oh shit, we forgot this part.
Right.
You know, I think this was a part where what Lito said with respect what he said about the Atlanta sound and the music, you know, a lot of that was hooks, and you know, the club factor, that was a major thing. But I think when the TDE and Kendrick came and Cole came with Forest Hill Drive, whatever, boom, I think the lyrics just snapped on everybody, and that was and those records, you know, as you saw, they became #1 hits. Like Middle Child to me was like one of the most important records of the last 2 years. I feel. You know, between him and then 21 Savage with the A Lot record, a big record. Kendrick, you know, it just showed in, you know, in streams and sales and platinum status. I just felt lyrics were important, you know, overall. Just wanted to say that.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard, Camille, to actually answer that question, because it's all about preferences. You know, to what Trophy said, I think Drake has a formula that's winning. Like, this guy's batting 1,000. He hasn't had any misses beyond the 5 years that you asked about. On a contrary note, what Ron just said, the whole TDE family, Kendrick's album, Mad City album was incredible. It's like a Band Aid classic album. No fast forwards, no skip anything. You know what I mean? I think Post Malone, as weird as he may be at times, and that's not for me. I'm not playing Post Malone, but he has a formula, like Ron said as well. He had a song with 21 Savage, and it did over 1 billion streams and things like that. So it's kind of hard to really narrow down what actually one song was the best or had the biggest impact. But it's all about, I guess, the preference of the audience and the demographic and things of that sort.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, who's next?
No, I was just going to say, yeah, I definitely agree with what everyone said. But you know who I thought had a really interesting sound and had like an overall great project that like opened up a gateway to just other things? When you look at like Travis Scott, you know, and you look at XXX, and then all the other artists that came out of that, how that birthed this whole new discovery within SoundCloud, and realizing this emotional rap and this whole new generation that's into this new, like, that has like this whole new world that we just didn't see, like we didn't live that, like, you know. So I felt like X's Project 17, that was such a well put together project. And I feel like when you see the X's, it reminds me of like Juice WRLD and like all those artists of that kind today. The Trippie Reds, like.
Right. Anybody else want to contribute? Cool. So the music.
Actually, I want to say, I do.
Yes.
No, I want to say one thing. I want to shout out Mike Dean. I think that like he has been such a huge mentor to a lot of the community at V-Files, and his work like with Travis, and every time we call him, he's in the studio with like Madonna or whoever, and just jamming and trying new things. And also our neighbors take a day trip across the street from us on Mercer. I think what they did with Sheck, with Lil Nas X, and all those things, I think the way that they really embrace their community and the youth and the sound of the youth, I think those guys have got a massive future. And so I just wanted to give them a shout out.
For sure. Yeah, I think sound is really important, and sometimes in this era that we're in, it's not before where every camp had a sound, but it is, like you guys said, it is up to the audience and what they want at the moment. And music, the great thing about music is it's for everyone, right? So you can't put it in a box, and that's the great thing. I'd like to pick up with Ron and Big D right now. Thank you, Lethal and Trophy, and everything that you're doing in the A&R world. Is radio as important as it was back in the day? That's my question, because it's changed, right? So is it the factor to break an artist?
Oh,
Do you want to start? I'll let you start, D.
Radio is definitely not the factor to break artists in 2020, and it hasn't been for the last maybe 10 years or so. Like the young sister just said a minute ago, folks are going to SoundCloud, they're going to YouTube, they're going to social media now, and they're getting that buzz and creating their audience and creating that kind of traffic before they even get to the labels. And a lot of times in a case like that, labels are coming to them after seeing the traffic and seeing the numbers and seeing the streaming and things like that. So I know back in the day, radio was pretty much the only outlet to get some kind of fan base, some kind of audience, some kind of momentum and things like that. But nowadays, radio is definitely it's one avenue, but it's not the only avenue. And I think, to be honest, with what Ryan does over at Sirius, that's a major platform. It's a global platform that people, I think sometimes they don't appreciate it in the way that they need to. A lot of times they kind of bypass radio, terrestrial radio, satellite radio, etc., and they take the shortcut route. They go to the SoundClouds and create their own buzz and fan base. And I'm going a different direction with this, but a lot of times they artists are getting lazy nowadays as well, because I guess they have these portals to kind of go and put the stuff out there, and they think that's just getting the job done. You know what I mean? I don't want to go too far because it's kind of getting off point, but I think radio, it has its vital spots, but it's definitely not the only outlet that will enhance the artist. What it does do when artists wants to get a buzz and they get some kind of single focused on and things like that, it increases the audience and enhances the audience and makes it a much more a bigger spread and things of that sort. But it's definitely not the only vessel that's currently being used. And I guess Ron could definitely speak a little more to that from his perspective.
Let me tell you, there is no book, there is nowhere you're going to read that the whole plan is laid out for you. Radio is definitely different because you got two avenues. You got terrestrial radio, which is like your Hot 97s, your Powers, Power 106, whatever, LA. Then you got us, which is a totally different thing, and then you got the streaming platforms, right? Let me tell you, if you stuck to just SoundCloud, then you're putting yourself in the box automatically. Because what I could provide you is, if you got 100,000 listeners on your SoundCloud, I could probably get you 1 million more. You know, it's just the way you got to think about it. You know, luckily, we rest in peace, Pop Smoke. Some artists are kind of smarter than others. They know how to work the avenue. So, like, if let me put it on Shade 45, where a lot of the DJs are personalities themselves, right? So they got a certain amount of followers. So now you do an interview with one of those guys, per se, let's say Who Kid. I could elevate your listenership automatically, 1, 2, 3, just by a viral video. But it's just honestly, the breaking of artists is a very difficult thing, you know, and you got to take chances, of course. I take a whole lot of chances. You know, a lot of people will tell you, you know, I've been lucky enough to be there. Like I said, let me just reiterate that a lot of these artists, they stayed on SoundCloud. That's probably where I found some of them. Juice WRLD, I found him on SoundCloud, like before even Interscope reached out to me. You know, and I was just like, holy shit, this kid, Roddy Ricch, same thing. I was trying to get Roddy Ricch signed. I just felt the vibe with him. And God, look at him now. Like, you know, it's amazing to see this artist just
flourish, yeah.
skyrocket, right? But then they took the avenue of radio because they knew that they'd get more listeners, not just stay in the box. You know, a lot of like, you know, I'm from New York. You know what I'm saying? Like I love what Brooklyn's doing with the drill. You know, I love Smooth Bell. I love all these guys, what they're building. Like they're building a whole sound down there. And they need to, somebody in Wisconsin never heard of that. I'm going to be honest with you. Mm. Somebody in fucking Delaware don't never heard of Smooth Bell. Whatever. Nobody heard of these guys. Like, you know, CP Hollow and them. Like nobody knows them, but they're amazing. So that's my job because I'm a national platform. I'm not just, you know, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey. I don't stay there. You gotta introduce. And I think the avenue to take with satellite radio, just speaking on myself, is just to, you know, bridge the gap. You know, introduce artists that people might have not heard that are driving trucks across the country, maybe older, you know, older demo, or you know, if you're going for a younger demo, you know, you try to bridge them with older records too, like bring a Jay-Z and then play a Pop Smoke. You know, just introducing. I think it's a job a lot of radio guys have, you know, not as far as terrestrial radio goes, they're not breaking records like they used to. So a lot of people come to, you know, me, they'll come to Tidal, they'll come to, you know, SoundCloud just to find where the new music is coming from. And, you know, no disrespect to any terrestrial radio station, but yeah.
So is it wise for artists and indie labels to invest in radio now? Is that important?
It's up to, I wouldn't say it's a judgment call for me. I don't know. Like, you know, that's up to them. But I just feel it's still important. You know, it's an introduction to a lot of, you know, folks that have not heard these artists.
I'm pro radio all day, and I don't know.
You know,
am I bringing up?
I feel it's important. You know, like I feel like I spoken with Cameron. When Cameron stopped doing interviews and stuff like that, but then he came back. Mm-hmm. He was like, I was missing something there, and then,
of course,
you know, it's speaking to the people that you don't speak to on a regular, and I feel that that's important because that's how you build, you know.
And think about radio as well. Even though it's usually nowadays, it's usually the last portal that actually gets new music because a lot of things come out socially, virally, et cetera, et cetera. Video, by the time they get it, it's a few days late, if not a couple of weeks or so. But radio is definitely viable in the marketplace. Like I mentioned before, it magnifies the audience. It gives you a bigger reach. And, you know,
yeah, a lot of times, a lot of the DJs are handcuffed. You can't play a new record just like that. You got to wait, you know, on terrestrial radio. Whereas D could give me a record right now, and it's on the radio right now.
Correct.
So that's what I was going to ask you guys. So with DSPs leading the consumer, right, with streaming and downloads, how's this affected you guys in the radio, and how are you balancing that out to still do what you do?
Well, the good thing with DSPs is for us on the radio promotion side, we use that DSP information to sell the record. A lot of times when an artist gets a certain amount of streams, a certain threshold, that allows me to go to Ron Mills or go to the other portals and get that continued activity going on. It's a selling point. It definitely helps. Sometimes radio programmers don't hear the record. I mean, when I think it's for the audience. If I got an artist that's streaming 300,000, 400,000, 500,000 times a week consistently each week and it's continuing to increase and he's Shazamming, it's kind of to the point where you can't deny it anymore. If I have a new artist and he's doing 400,000 streams a week this week and the next week he's doing 450 and then 600,000, there's something there. The numbers is going up. The Shazams is kicking in. And last week, I might have Shazam 35 in Charlotte. This week, it's Shazamming number 22. Next week, Shazamming number 13. There's something there. There's an audience there that's listening to it. They finding it. And they ain't gonna find it from you. They're gonna find it somewhere else. And, you know, and that's the whole thing. Programmers don't want the audience to go elsewhere to find the music. So they're gonna want to eventually invest into that particular single, song, artist, whatever.
And that's when I dissect it. Because he'll tell me, okay, this record's doing 300. I'm like, 300,000 a week. And I'm like, okay, let me see his socials. Let me see his YouTube. Let me see if these streams are for real. You know, you get added to a playlist. Let's say, let's say Rap Caviar. Somebody gets added to Rap Caviar. I'm adding 1.3 million streams to your record. I'm going to deduct that to really see where your record's at. Because a playlist gives you this leverage of, because your song is on a playlist, a lot of people will tend to visit it more, right? So then I'm looking at that. Okay, let me deduct that and see if this song is for real. You got to do your homework a lot of times too. You just can't play any record. But that says a lot. The playlist, everybody's dying to get on Rap Caviar. Everybody's dying to get on Rap Life. But that, I'm starting to reduce. I'm starting to reduce from there. Like, that ain't your selling point with me no more.
Right, got it. Any of the other panelists have anything they want to add on or say to Ron and Dee about the radio promo world?
Like, truth be told, Camille, and like I just mentioned real now, I usually use DSP chart positioning, stream numbers, Shazams to actually sell the records to programmers at radio. I have to, because now back in the day we used to have SoundScan. SoundScan would kind of help you out and things like that.
I've never seen an artist become a superstar without the component of radio. I don't care what anybody. You know what I'm saying? I just haven't seen it.
I mean,
I agree.
I just wanted to throw in my little 2 cents, even from an independent standpoint. Like, I feel like radio is still very much important. You know what I'm saying? If you get the right amount of spendings and you get the right amount of love from the radio stations, it activates everything. It activates your Instagram, it activates your YouTube subscribers, it activates your Spotify, your SoundCloud. Like, it's just an activation tool. And I still do believe in spending the budget on radio because it's important.
So let me ask you this last question. So Dee and Ron, if an artist has a song and they're getting streams, the numbers are looking really well, should they start off radio on an indie level in like the key target markets or their market before doing the big blitz? Like, what do you suggest for some of these artists out here that want to do radio? They don't know how to start, where to start. I mean, should they just do the mix show DJs first?
Well, Dio will also explain to you that, there's a process, just like what Lito was saying earlier, but there is a process. Usually, you direct the mix show first before heading out to the other departments in radio, of course, right? Mix show is what I do too. Once a record goes out, it's outside, it's been released, I'm on it. I don't care about no impact date. I'm not caring about what terrestrial radio, how they work, how they operate. Once a record is out, I'm on it. That's my job, because you know what? I got to work with the machine, and the machine is the internet. Yeah. Music moves very, very fast nowadays. And I know somebody earlier mentioned about XXX and, him and how him, Small Perp, and these guys. Please tell me a radio station that supported them before he passed. I swear on everything, nobody supported XXX. Maybe locally, and this is what's going to answer your question, is they should target local first. Always target your main, your crib, then go out. Or if you feel that you're getting a lot of streams in one location in the country, go target it. But, nobody played that music, and I love X, and I love Small Perp, Trippy. But, people come to me to hear that, because local radio is not going to play that. They're going to play that one hit that, everybody, whatever. Shit, I was playing the instrumental of fucking X, before he passed away. And it's just like, I love the music. You got to have that shit in the gut. Like, a record's got to feel good, and I thought they had great music, but nobody across the board supported them. Wow. And it's sad. But it shows you a lot.
The question from my perspective, Camille, I think a lot of times it's always crucial and always important for artists to definitely get that homegrown support and get that homegrown foundation and love. That's first and foremost. It's kind of hard to have an artist from Houston not break out of Houston but get support in New York or California or Atlanta without that homegrown buzz. A lot of times for the artists to get that buzz to spread naturally, you got to kind of get the home base first, let it kind of carry over into the other territories and bleed over. And then from there, you kind of continue to build a story. And then after it kind of goes from the Southwest region, goes to the West Coast and the Southeast, Midwest. And then, you got a national picture right now. But you got to definitely get that homegrown fan base first and foremost.
Great. And I want part of this panel to be a teaching experience for some of the participants that are viewing us right now so that they get an idea of what to do with their projects. And I'm going to segue in a second to Alicia and Jack to go through the media part. But really quickly, I forgot to ask the panel and especially my A&R. So we have an artist and they have all this content. So how do they get to you guys? What's the best way for an artist to get their content out to the specialists? What are they doing?
Well, I can tell you what techniques I use as an A&R to find talent. I might check, YouTube is my favorite place to go to because, people are just uploading to YouTube, every day, every minute. They're going to their hometown video directors and shooting stuff in the hood and, it's there as soon as, they get the footage back. So I like that. But if I feel like I'm really digging, I might go through the viral charts on Spotify, or I'll look at certain playlists that I normally won't look at to see what's, trending in, other facets of, music. SoundCloud, I might look at charts on SoundCloud too to see if anything that was uploaded recently has gotten a bunch of traction. I look at the hip hop and R&B charts over there. I think that's really
that's your formula.
Yeah.
Lita, what about you? Same?
I mean, a lot of the similar stuff, I definitely, I pay attention to those things. I mean, it's really simple. Put up numbers. Like if you make some noise and you drop consistently, you'll find me. I won't even have to find you. I think that's the most important part. You just gotta put forward, a good foot and put up numbers. And I mean, I got some formulas that I ain't gonna say on here. I'm not that brave. I'm not giving away all my songs.
I don't know the rest. I hate this numbers game because half of these numbers is hacked, let's be real, and numbers really don't equate talent these days to me.
Nah, but I mean, you gotta look at the numbers from a kid who don't have the outlets to get fake numbers. And then when they do get those $500 get you 200,000 listens, you can tell. You can go on his IG and see his engagement ain't there. Dude, I'd rather fuck with an artist who got 5,000 followers and gets 5,000 views on a video than fuck with an artist who got 100,000 followers and you're only getting 3,200 views on your videos.
Right.
Your engagement isn't there.
Right. That's true.
Something's off.
I actually got an email this week from Spotify. Spotify saying that they're starting May 1st tomorrow. They're no longer entertaining bots.
Fake.
It's not authentic followers or authentic subscribers. It's out of here.
Wow.
Camille, I'm not an A&R, but with respect to everyone too, is one important thing is when I'm looking, is the DJs. I think the DJs are sometimes overlooked. I think you go talk to a DJ anywhere you go, they usually know also or tapped in with new artists that are on the come up, because you can imagine the demos they get. Yeah. Strip clubs, or wherever they may be putting music up, and I think that's still an overlooked science is the actual DJ, and it's almost the simplest.
Yeah, I'm sorry Flea wasn't able to join us, but yeah, it is a heartbeat.
My brother Sloop.
Yeah, it's a heartbeat to this. So
definitely agree.
We created the baby. We have the radio that's going to expand the consumer base. Let's talk about PR, because I just cringe, ladies, when I hear sometimes they say that PR is dead and media is dead. I just cringe. So Alicia and Jack, the specialists in media, and what's the role of PR and how has it changed drastically?
Well, to me, I believe that PR is the narrative. You can either wait for people to talk about you and hope they talk about you and hope they say good things about you, or you can control the conversation. So PR really is just overall getting your message out and identifying with the people who are going to help spread your message, whether that's radio, whether that's music platforms, whether it's like editorials, whether you're building in the lifestyle space or you're producing events around yourself. But one of the most important things about PR is being partnered with good marketing. Because at the end of the day, you know, I always explain to people, I can't do fluff. Fluff doesn't sell. You feel me? Like you can be on 100 blogs on Monday, by Wednesday, no one cares because that's how fast information travels. So if we're not doing some type of strategy that makes sense, then we're figuring out what songs are the lead songs. What do we have behind that songs? How much content do we have behind these songs? Which songs are going to radio, and are the songs going to radio also strip club records? Because, you know, I also work with a lot of rappers. So it's like, where can we hit this a number of different times so that it can stick wherever we put it? So I think that as much as PR is important in building with these editors, knowing who writes where, what do they specialize in? Like, I've worked with Venus a ton of times when she was at the Source. Ron had Smoke Perp first for me. You know, we brought Smoke Perp up to Sirius, you know, like he really supported that. Jack, I think we met when I brought A Boogie, when we did the V-Files Loud with A Boogie for his first project. So it's really just about, you know, making sure your artist can stick and have like a stature in their space. Of course, you want everyone to be great, but they have to build a foundation first. So the PR and the marketing, I feel like, really seals in that foundation and solidifies like who that artist is in the marketplace.
Jack.
I mean, my thing, just to add to Alicia, that's right. Remember that time, and he was super late. Late, and I will not tell you here how late was late.
Oh, right
but
out
it was
the
late.
early, right?
It was late. So at B-Files, how we handle, like, we always talk about, you know, community, and we talk about storytelling, and we really see our job as like telling stories. And like the way we work with artists is like, you know, I want to look them in the eye and get to know them. And it's almost like their music becomes secondary because you meet them, and like I've been so blessed to meet so many incredibly talented young artists, and you meet them. And you know, I remember when Migos came in and they wanted to play, you know, Bad and Bougie at 12 Mercer at our store. And, you know, I'm like, why do you want to play it here? And they're just, no, we want to play it here. And like talking to them, and when you see them look in their eyes, you see that they love their music, they're passionate about their craft, then you feel a responsibility to tell the story the right way and make sure that the audience and the content that you're creating or the vibes that you're sharing are true to the artist. And I think the most successful artists today are the ones that can really connect with their fans. And going back to, you know, what you've all been saying about engagement and fans and numbers, you know, I always have this line that I tell people, you know, when they're starting, and a lot of the young artists at B-Files have 300 followers, right? Or like, you know, less than 1,000. And I always tell them, like, look, before the internet, think about like Bruce Springsteen when he was starting, or, you know, Fleetwood Mac, and they would go and see a record label. The record label had to listen to their music and get to know them and watch their fans interact with them before they decided if they would sign them or not. And I think that is still like, whilst there's the numbers and everything else there, but, you know, literally based on what everyone else has been saying, and how we feel, that's still there today. I mean, you have to like the music, you have to love the artist, and then you have to want to tell their story. And I think the artists that, you know, the role of marketing and PR and community is to be able to tell your story to your fans. And if they're 5, tell a great story to 5 fans who will tell that story to 5. Each of them will tell to 5 fans. Just do the numbers, and then those 5 will tell to their 5. And all of a sudden, you have an audience. And so that to me is the role of PR, marketing, and, you know, storytelling in music.
So you're in a very precarious place because every artist wants to get their content right, on V Files. You have TMI. You have a lot of different things going on. We have Abby Jasmine doing Pass the Ox for you. Thank you very much.
Right now. She's doing it right now.
Oh, she's doing it. That's right. What content are you looking for? So Alicia and Jack, so what kind of content do these artists need to create in this storytelling for them to get on V Files or to get a double XL, the beat section, or what do they need to do? Like, what do we create?
Look, I mean, we are looking for, and our team looking for honest content. You can't fake it. It's like, this is me, and here, we all know we're in the business. There is fake content, like you said, you can buy streams and you can buy followers. We can also fake your content and put out a version of yourself that's not real, and, like, for example, you could have an artist, you could spend a lot of money creating this like fake video world for them. Then you could create like this fake streaming thing for them. But you should never underestimate your fans, because we always say, like, treat your fans smart, treat the community as smart. They know what's real and what's not. So like, what we're looking for when we look for content or people to work with is talent and honesty. Like, this is me, and I want to put that forward, and I want to tell my story. And we love that. And I don't care how many followers you have or whatever, if your story's great, you're great, your music's great, your fashion is great. Like, we want to help you tell that story.
Nice.
I definitely agree. And just to piggyback off of what Jack said, I think that I always tell an artist, like, outside of wanting to make it as an artist, like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? What do you like? Some artists might tell you, like, they like weed, they like fast cars, they like Jordan 1s. Those are the things that your fans can relate to outside of your music. There are people who might only buy your music because they like you. And I feel like for the first time, like, this is what's going on in music. Before it was like, people really like songs, that's why they bought into music. Now someone can just like you and buy into you. They might not buy your music, they might buy your merch. So when it comes to, okay, what kind of content are we doing? We need real content. We want authentic content. And how is it different from what's in the marketplace, but still relatable? What are we going to do to offer that's different and still offers a piece of you? So I think those are the things that are most important. And what's exclusive? Like, what are you going to give someone that no one else is going to have? Because at the end of the day, V Files doesn't want to report what everybody else is going to report. Jack wants it first. She wants to know who's going to be the hottest, where they're blowing up, why.
So I want to know you. I want to know you. I don't want to know the fronting version. I want to know you.
So
I don't.
The difference between the media, the traditional media, and now this lifestyle, because everybody's into lifestyle now. That's really new. Would you consider V Files more media or a lifestyle?
I think, I want to tell you about this conversation I had with Dapper Dan, which plays into all of this. But like, the V Files is a community. Like, we are straight up a community. We are a democratic, diplomatic community where, like, Take a Day Trip sits next to, a 15-year-old kid who's producing music in his closet and doing all the vocals, like, under his sheets so he gets a good echo. You know what I mean? Like, so we're a community, and I like to say that when we do content, we're basically making content about ourselves. We're telling our stories from our community and sharing them out there. And, just talking about the difference, like, I remember doing an interview with Dapper Dan, like, with Dapper, he was a mentor at V Files Runway a couple of years ago. And I asked him, like, what is the difference between dressing, like the rappers when you started as to, the way when you're working with like artists now? And he was like, look, when I was working with, Tupac and LL Cool J and those guys, I got my inspiration from the lyrics that they wrote. And so I just want to go back to like the whole importance of authenticity, because when you write your own lyrics and you are speaking your words, then I want to tell your story, because when you tell it to me, I feel something.
Right.
And so that's like the most important thing that for me and Alicia with like PR and marketing, because we can spot the fake in 5 seconds, right? But when you're like, these are my words, this is my story. I don't care if you're spitting it. I don't care if you're like 645 AR and you're squeaking it. Like, you know, when you speak your words, it comes through. And so then for me, I'm like, I feel I have a duty to tell that story the right way. So I always feel like community storytelling, and the music comes out of it because you feel it, because it comes from your heart.
Right. Amen. Anybody else want to add in on their experiences with media and how important they feel it is? So media and marketing always run these parallel lines. We're always kind of intersecting in and out. Jade and Venus, I'm kind of turn the mic to you guys. How do you create a brand? Because like you're an artist, and then the artist hopefully becomes the brand.
So I'm gonna say my top 3 things of how you could leverage your brand and create it, amplify it, make it better. Research, knowing who your audience is very important. It's probably the most important thing. I know someone mentioned like hometown support as well. Like being known in your hometown and where you're from and having them support is also the first step. Awareness, paying attention to all the different trends inside your industry and also outside your industry, so you're aware of what's going on. Leveraging your connections. So any friends that you may know, brands that you may know, and being authentic. I don't know if it's the Brooklyn in me, but people only want to support and consume what's real. So
Right.
if they feel like they can't relate to it, chances are yeah, being authentic is very important.
Yeah, it is. It really is. To know, yeah, artists need to know who they are. I mean, we can help you create who you are, but you need to walk the talk the talk. Venus.
Okay, I just had to unmute, but I think it starts with identifying the artist's demographic and vision. I feel like from there, taking the vision, you'll know once you understand the demographic, you'll know how to really market it better. Like who is your audience, or like what consumers can you like gain from other artists who fit your aesthetic or demographic. Yeah, I think it's just start just identifying like what are you trying to do, and who are who's the target.
Right.
What lane, like developing the lane where you should go. If as far as like building an artist, say a music artist, I would definitely start with the image, because I feel like image is so important today. It's like the number one thing. Like I feel like even today, like a lot of labels are signing artists just off of looks, and then the music comes after. Like the music is like becoming a secondary thing now. Like it's all about image, branding, becoming the product for brands and just platforms. I know like a lot of brands now like taking artists to make them the face of their brands. Like a lot of collaborations. I really feel like image is very important, and that's something that I definitely specialize in. I definitely start with the image.
Yeah, I was gonna say traditionally marketing was like the heart of the label, right? So we were pushing usually the label's vision, and then the artist's vision came secondary. And now with this new indie world, do we feel that the role of the marketer is somewhat falling back now because the artists are so into their vision? And it seems like the vision seems to be the same across the board lately, but I mean, what do you guys think?
I don't think it took a back seat. I think one of the misconceptions about marketing is, and we get a lot of slack. If something isn't successful, marketing is one of the first departments they come to about, something not working and the numbers not handling the way it's supposed to. But we're product pushers, right? So A&R develops the artist, they develop the product, and what we do is package you consumers and make you look better, get different eyeballs on you, and get you into different spaces.
Right.
So I would say that this has forced us to become more creative. So when I was at BET, I did the New Edition story. I started that campaign 9 months before the show came out. So a lot of people don't understand what goes into the marketing. So every opportunity that we had to showcase a show, we did it. We started at Essence Fest, and it probably didn't make sense to the people at Essence Fest watching like those boys dance on the screen, but it made sense to us because we knew those women in the Superdome were going to watch it 9 months later.
Right.
Or the people coming from the airport, we partnered with Lyft. You type in New Edition, you get $5 off your ride. Anything that makes sense to amplify what you're marketing is what you should tap into. So you just have to be creative and think outside the box.
So my A&Rs, my marketing media people, my PR people, how do we keep content innovative and fresh in this changing landscape? Because it's a lot of competition now, so it's exhausting. So what are we telling these artists? What are we doing? Because I'm just exhausted.
Well, I know from a radio promotion standpoint, just for visibility purposes, like right now during quarantine 2020, I'm talking to all artists from Casanova to Angelica Villa to Rhapsody. Like right now, you should be putting up content every single day. Some kind of interaction, some kind of engagement. Like right now, everybody's at home in the crib, nothing to do, looking for something to get into, looking for something to watch. Right now is the best time to put up content, and it ain't got to be choreographed or staged or kind of have a theme behind it, but just do some kind of something to engage with them. Whether it be you cooking, whether it be you in the studio, you writing, you trying to I don't know, coordinate something. Whether you do a TikTok video with your spouse or your peoples, you should be doing something on a daily basis to keep that engagement going on. I think right now is the most pivotal time to get that going and to build your audience.
I agree with Big D. I think marketing-wise, this is the best time. Everybody's being super creative. I don't know who touched on just knowing your artist as a person, but Atlantic has a lot of baby artists. I have artists that like to smoke. What does Backwoods want to do? You can make a video at home on how to roll, have it, put it out to your fans. Do things that make sense in that way. You can look at Travis Scott and Fortnite. Crazy. He knows his audience. He knows where they were going to be. That made sense. Over 12 million people engaged with it. Tory Lanez Quarantine Radio. That made sense. He knows his audience. He's giving away money to his fans. His fans are twerking. It goes in line with his music. Even the Versus series with Teddy Riley and Babyface. They almost broke the internet. So I think now, in a moment where we're all at home, this is where everyone should be thinking outside the box as far as marketing to people and their audience. You could get creative without following what everyone else is doing if you have your own niche and you know who you are as an artist.
And to what Jay just spoke about, I saw recently that Tory Lanez is looking to MTV looking to bring him in to bring quarantine radio to the network. Fat Joe, he's getting calls from ESPN and sports networks to kind of bring his platform to their side of things. You know what I mean? So, but this right now, people are watching. People trying to see what artists is doing right now and how they kind of creating some kind of
Lane, yeah.
Right.
Quarantine time,
Yeah, I was gonna ask you guys, like, what marketing campaigns have you seen lately that like really raised the bar? Like, Jack, have you seen something that you were like, oh, this is like next level? Like, people that really need to start stepping it up now. I know we said Tory for sure. Quarantine is winning. What's Joe's thing? What is his?
The Fat Joe Show, aka Joper.
Have you seen, Jack, anything that was like, yo, they're really taking this now to the next level?
I think the Versus series, too, I think has slept on a lot. What they did is resurface and bridge the gap between the old and the new, because a lot of these young kids don't know those songs, and they don't know who produced it. They hear it, they might have heard their parents playing it, they may have heard it as a throwback, but they don't know the producers that put the work in for it. A lot of people didn't know that Johnson did half those songs that he did.
Yeah.
So it's not only awareness to the producers, but it's marketing the whole thing.
I mean, I think, Camille, in answer to your question, like I've seen, what I love, I mean, again, to the point about Travis doing what he did, Fortnite, and it comes back to knowing who you are and knowing your audience. And, I just love being able to see into people's houses. You know what I mean? Like we kind of think like every now it's like, you can have your virtual background, then you can switch into your normal background and see your home. And the more I get to see people and actually know them, I realized that through the quarantine, I actually got to be a better fan. You know what I mean? And I got to know my artists better. and they let me know them, and they shared their world with me. And so I think that any artist who is doing things like that, and then like, you know, for example, quarantine radio is so good because it's so many artists coming in, talking to each other. This is this, this is that. And it's just like you're listening in on someone's phone call. I mean, you know, like why are Twitch and esports so great? You know, because you're watching people do, like you literally sitting there watching people do things and talking to your friends about it. And think about like the whole workout, you know, why workouts and fitness is so crazy. Like, you know, people are not actually doing a lot. I mean, there are some people doing the workouts, right? But there's a huge group of people watching the person do the workout. You know, they're not, so there's a voyeuristic part of it as well. And I think that, you know, playing into that is one thing. And then two, the second thing is, you know, what all you guys were just pointing to is, you know, letting people know your secrets. Like, you know, this is like, I saw this, you know, Billie Eilish and, you know, and Phineas were talking about how they make their tracks and, you know, talking about producers that are interesting to work with. You know, they had captured sounds that they heard in the street and, you know, that they liked and certain noises, and they actually wove them into their music. And, you know, I think that, you know, this whole generation, this Gen Z generation of music and music producers are just approaching things in such a novel and unique way. And now because they're forced into isolation, we're seeing a lot more unique and, you know, stuff that I think is going to be really groundbreaking in the next few months.
Oh, for sure.
I wanted to just add, you know, for artists that might be on like the indie side, this is a good time to, you know, do your research on like who's around you or who can be added to your team. Like a lot of the artists that we work with, we build teams around them. That's very important that they have a community from day one. We bring in the stylist, different video directors. We have a team of like 8 graphic designers, you know, like really getting people who are always thinking about you creatively. So it's like right now, if you're building music, the next thing you need is the thing to sell that music, whether that's artwork, whether that's and I don't believe in just one artwork. You know, people don't want to feel like they're being sold to. So you need like maybe 2 artworks. Maybe you need a trailer. Maybe you need motion clips. Maybe you need swipe ups for Insta stories and throwing some lives in the middle. But it's like, figure those things out. If you want to come out with a merch brand, figure out what that looks like. You know, like you can start designing and putting out those designs before you ever place an order, you know? So it's just about, like you guys said, getting innovative with what you're doing. But just because you don't have a big budget doesn't mean that you can't tap into what's already around you. You have resources.
It's true. This is a real testing time. Piggybacking on what you said, Alicia, to my panel, the whole panel, do artists need managers? Is that, we have a love-hate, the labels always have love-hate relationship, but you don't need managers.
Artists need real managers. They don't need homegrown management. They don't need momagers unless momager knows what she's doing. They need people that's connected, that knows the system, that knows who to speak to get the answers from. And they gotta know they gotta have, know the language and have the right conversations. A lot of people kind of put their people in place and give them a shot, and I guess they figure they're gonna grow as they go along. Sometimes that trial and error could kind of be detrimental to your career because, we put a budget behind the artist and things will go right and you $500,000 in the hole, you might not get a second shot. So it's all about getting that manager's going to sit here and create the right opportunities for you while the label's doing what they got to do as far as the music and the audience and creating a brand. You got to also go out there and talk to these other brands to try to come in there and want to partner up with you and do things like that. So a good manager is going to go out there and have a conversation with Puma and Nike and Kodak camera or whatever it may be and kind of bring some kind of partnership to the table. You have your cousin doing your stuff for you, all he's going to do is go on the road with you, smoke weed and drink bottles and fuck chicks. That's just going to happen.
Right.
You see it all the time.
Right. And spend your budget.
Just speaking from an independent standpoint, like doing so many deals with so many major labels, like the manager is the most important key because your manager is the one that's going to have to shake the building up. He's going to be the one that has to take D out to lunch and sit down and have a conversation with him. He's going to be the one that got to, send Ron some pasteles in the mail.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that-
Talk about that. Yep.
So the manager, I know you're gonna like that. So the manager he's so important, man. He's your gateway to success. Without that bridge, without that right bridge, you ain't gonna do nothing. You probably gonna get shelved. If you ain't hot, it's over.
Right.
Just to piggyback off of that too, I believe that your manager is the person that creates your team. Like your manager is the person that should know and always be putting you in the position to make money. Even if the money isn't physical dollars, they should be putting you in the position because, I work with label artists, I work with indie artists, but I feel like there are a lot of indie artists in here. So it's just like your manager at the point you're in right now might not be able to talk to Puma about you, but they might be able to get you into a series that Puma or Kicks 24 or one of these other places are doing. They might be able to get you on a South by Southwest stage that one of these brands are doing. But your manager is always supposed to be actively looking for opportunities. If they're just answering the emails that you're getting few and far in between, that's an assistant. That's not a manager.
Right.
Your manager, as far as like, because, I just stepped into management, so this is like a new but not new world for me because we've done A&R work before. We've done marketing work before, but like, your manager should also be able to help you with your sound. Sometimes people have a sound, but they're not as confident in it or they don't know why. They should be able to identify studios that are good, engineers that are good, people who can mix and master that are good, songwriters, get you beats. Because until you have a A&R, that's the only person sitting there with you, and they need to be active with you in the studio. They need to punch in and be like, you know what, that sucks, because everything does not sound good. So it has to be someone that can really help you bring your vision to life, and if your vision starts steering off, it has to be someone to put you back on the path, whatever that may be.
And you also got to have a good manager that's going to go in there, and when the things get kind of shaky, you got to go in there and ruffle some feathers.
Oh, yeah.
And go to the label and also kind of shake things up a little bit and make people kind of fear you. I've had managers or artists who pretty much, like I said, they go on the road, hang out, they're friends, they get drunk, whatever. And then when it's time to, get to the airport, they can't check in because they ain't got the flight information or they ain't got the hotel where they're going to. They don't know the driver for the car. They calling them back to the home label. It's kind of like, what are you there for? You know what I mean? A good manager is going to go in there and ask for meetings. They're going to orchestrate meetings and tell them what needs to be happening, what's coming out of the pipeline. We're going to drop the single on this date, et cetera, and have some kind of charge, some kind of direction going on. That's what a good manager
Your security. And sometimes you got to text the homies too. That's a new thing, making sure that your homies got your content. So we dropping videos, you got to have the group chat with all their friends, like here. Because sometimes the artist don't send it to his friend. It's a lot of different, people say like, oh, a manager is a glorified babysitter. It is, but it's also a whole lot more.
I think artists tend to forget that music is a business. And as an artist, and I always used to tell my artists this, like, you need to be an artist. You need to create and not be worrying about, the bill coming in or the invoice that has to go out and the date that or the time that you got to call the car. So it really is important, like Alicia and the rest of the team said, that you have a team. No one respects anything but fear. So there has to have a balance in the manager where they're knowledgeable and that they can come in and shake some shit up when they really have to. So that's our story to you. We're almost at the end, and I want to address the elephant in the room. Miss Rona, Miss COVID-19. I don't want to talk about how in the beginning, but I want to find out from everyone how this has affected your business model, your mental, and our future. So one by one, if we can, Jack, if you want to go first.
Okay, so I love that you call her Miss Rona.
Yes. Yes.
I love that.
Right.
Okay, it is a fucking disaster. That's all I can say. And I think it's really, you can't, I just saw on the news 1 in 5 Americans is unemployed. I'm from Australia, right? The population of Australia is 22 million people. So in America right now, the entire population of Australia plus is unemployed. Right. And so the thing you have to think about, like obviously for us, we can't do our store. We have our businesses, a lot of, experiential businesses, person to person. We can't have those. We can't ship merch. We can't make merch. And our business model is literally gone. It's done, and so I remember the first day, like I spoke with our team, and our team's small. I'm like, okay, guys, everyone on this team is now on the content team. This entire team is the content team. Mm-hmm. And so, I think, and that's been good. We're learning new ways and et cetera, generating revenue and looking at new business models. But the thing for me, there's two things to really understand, right? I always, when things get tough for me, even me personally, and at V-Files, I always reach back into the community and, the culture of the V-Files community. And I look to the kids and what they're doing, and I just go in there with them and amplify that. But I would be lying if I said it was easy, because it's really not. And then the other thing, that you have to, everything you do right now, you have to think about it from the mental perspective of people in other businesses, right? So like, if you're thinking about like looking for a sponsor for something, well, then it's like, it's not just that, okay, say we're talking to Sprite, or like Sprite to sponsor something. It's not just whether Sprite still has money. The other question is, what is the mental state of the person running the budget of that account? How do they feel confidence-wise, perception-wise about their own future? So we're dealing with like the mental health of our business, as well as the lack of business. So I think it's really tough, but I also think that like for us right now, when we want to think about how we're going to come out of it and how we're going to thrive as we come out into this new world. So, but I'm not going to lie and say it's easy, because it's not.
Right, it definitely is. Ron Mills, how you doing?
Trying to unmute this computer. I'm gonna tell you something. I hope all y'all bought shares in Zoom. Shit, cause goddamn, everybody became a professional at this damn thing. Everybody became professional at IG Live. I can't stand no more IG Live. I swear to God, everybody is IG Live every 2 minutes. I should have bought my shares in that, but mentally, I think I'm trying to stay sane between getting cabin fever. I really love to be outside. It's just these walls sometimes start caving in, but got to take care of family. I think that's most important, apart from this whole industry that we love so much. But family is important through these times, and I think that everybody should really, I'm seeing New York knuckleheads outside thinking that this shit is not gonna touch them, but hey, each his own. Industry, I don't think my moves have stopped. I think we've been as busy as ever. Labels still reaching out on a weekly, sometimes even more than that, so I think it's been business as usual. Thank God for laptops and phones and, all that. So business hasn't stopped, but, personal stuff starts caving in, so.
That's great. Radio's alive. Big D, radio's alive for you?
Radio is alive, and the good thing is radio listenership has been up the last 4 to 5 weeks. The good thing with radio is people want to hear radio. They want to hear local news. They want to hear current events. You know what I mean? I've seen from Billboard to radio hits to daily doubles, various articles floating around that radio is taking it's excelling, because people are actually tuning into local news for updates, information, what's going on in their backyard. So that's definitely a good thing. To go back to your original question, I think coming out of this situation here, we have to use all of our resources. Each and every one of us on this panel right here, we have to use all of our resources. Like right now, I do radio promotions, but I've been calling other outlets. I've been calling Vivo. I've been calling Music Choice. I've been calling all my folks to find out what they got going on, and how can I sit here and present my artists to be a part of that. How can I get Rhapsody and Casanova to be a part of your next a virtual performance space? How can I sit here and get Nicole Bus to do something for the iHeart summer concert series? Just find out what's going on. So what I'm doing is I'm calling everybody I talk to outside of radio as well, and utilizing those situations, because you never know. They might be sitting here trying to create. Nike might be doing something like she said. Sprite might be doing something and looking for artists, and you might catch somebody at the right time and you might sit here and bring the right name up, and next thing you know, you got your artist incorporated into that, and then now you're now an asset to your whole campaign and to the label you're working for and things of that sort. So it's very imperative that we sit here and utilize our resources and think out the box, because I'm sure once things get back to, well, it's not going to be normal again, but once things get back to being open and us going back into the workplace and things like that, it's going to be a new normal moving forward. And I feel that we're all going to have to adjust our plans, adjust different things we're doing, and find new avenues. Right now, it's going to probably not going to be any concerts for the next probably 6 to 12 months or so. So how do we sit here and create some kind of revenue and keep artists active and in the marketplace and visible to the audience, not just locally, but on the national level? So we got to figure out what's going on over at Vivo, what's going on at Pandora with Ron Mills and Sirius. What are you guys doing for the summertime? What's Hot 97 doing for Summer Jam this year? You're not doing Summer Jam. What are you doing in place for that? How can I get my 2 acts, 3 acts, 4 acts on that lineup to some capacity? Can I get somebody to host the event? Can I get somebody to be a moderator? Like, what could we possibly do to incorporate that? So those are the things that I'm doing, and not just locally, country.
You hustling.
You got to be an asset. Absolutely.
For sure. Miss Gooden, you hustling too? How's Miss Rona treating cold?
I'm not gonna lie, the first couple weeks I was like, it like hit me hard. I was like so stressed. You know, like I can be a homebody, but offices in the city and always being out and about, like it's different when you just gotta be in the house all the time. But honestly, right now has been crazy busy. Like he said, like the labels are still calling, you know, Iran said the labels are still calling. The labels actually have started new divisions because of everything that's been going on with the internet and all these IG lives. They're creating a new divisions, to, what do I want to say, revive music that's past 18 months old. So they're starting like catalog divisions. So they're trying to figure out all that kind of stuff. Wow. And, I've just been building. Like we're definitely staying safe. We're staying isolated. I'm fortunate enough that my partner and one of my artists has like a number of properties. So we've been shooting content. We've been building merch. We're coming out with a cannabis line. Okay. Like we're doing a lot. You know, we're working out. We're keeping things moving. But every single day, we got music dropping. Yeah. So business as usual over here.
That's good. Lito, how is Run It Up? How's Rona and Run It Up?
Well, first off, you know, condolences to anybody that lost anybody through this whole corona wave. Rest in peace, my grandmother. My best friend lost his dad. So, you know, that kind of stuff starts to get real. Other than that, though, you know, the grind don't stop. You know, you got to continue to feed the family. So it's great to be an independent during this time, because I ain't got to call nobody to approve any budgets. If I want to drop it, I drop it. So the thing about being an independent during this time, and like everybody said, utilizing all your outlets, utilizing all your friendships or your homies, you know what I'm saying? Maybe sending some apologies to people you shouldn't have cursed out. You know, whatever it is at this point, you know what I'm saying?
That would be you.
That would be him, right?
You know, I didn't have to send out a few sorries, but
where does he get that from?
My dad.
The mama.
Shut up, D. Trophy Cinematic Records. How we doing on the COVID-19 new business model?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much business as usual for me. Like, nothing is stopping. Before this started, I had 2 projects dropping. They're still dropping on time. Like, as long as communication is still there, everything is still running as smooth as possible. Like,
what about the videos though? That kind of hurt a little bit, or?
Because I just snuck to Atlanta and shot 2 videos with my artists. I don't care.
All right, no, y'all doing it. I know we're doing it, right?
My new artist just called me. He asked me, "Can I get $250 for this Airbnb so I can shoot a video?" Yep, yes, you can get it.
Good girl, right?
All this content out. I don't care about nobody Rona. You gotta do what you gotta do.
That's it. We gotta do what we gotta do. Venus. How has COVID
Okay.
changed you and your business model?
Well, I feel like this is just such a great time to learn new things. I feel like it has forced me to go into tech at this point, which I've already been thinking about how to bring in like the tech side with my agency. So my plan is to, by the end of this whole Corona thing, to have a bot for my agency. So I've been really studying like technology and stuff and apps and web development, all that type of stuff. So yeah, I plan to have a bot.
Nice. Look at you, advancing yourself. That's a great point. It's a great time to learn something new. Believe it or not, I don't know why I did this, but I even signed up for like EDX, like the Harvard online classes. I had taken one a while
Taking that
ago.
too.
I don't know why I did it because it's
The
so
intro. I'm taking the Harvard Intro to Computer Science class, and I'm
awesome.
trying to take the Python class too for SQL.
I'm encouraging everyone to just like do something new because we have the time, right? And I mean, we're still hustling. We still have reports and conference calls, but do something new. I think that's like the takeaway.
Yeah, I'm changing all my sneaker boxes. It's a hard job. Very, very difficult.
What's the name, Ron? Tell us.
I also learned how to braid. I learned how to braid. I'm about to put passion twist in my hair tonight.
That is,
My group chatted the Harvard classes, and she grew sent me in the group chat. I ignored it so fast. I said,
did you ignore my text? I'm so mad at you. So before we end, I just want to do a little bit of tea. So this week on Shade Room, Little Baby says he'll be going to hustle unless his label Quality Control Music gives him $5 million. Are they holding the labels hostage during quarantine? What is going on? Are we mad at him or not?
I think he said that was a joke.
Was it a joke?
He said that,
Said it was a joke that him.
Yeah, but he's
said
putting a
that,
lot
but
of ideas into artists' heads now. Like, what? I hope it's a joke.
it'll probably true. He probably I guess recanted it because he got that phone call after he posted it. So he probably like, you trying to do what? Yeah, let's have a conversation.
Yeah, I don't think that was a joke.
I
He
mean,
got a new single out, Emotionally Scarred.
of course he does.
He needs a buzz.
Well, honestly, I say this though, man. I think every artist is on the verge of hustling. Like, at the end of the day, sometimes it's not easy being an artist. I feel like, especially when you don't take your money and you splurge on a lot of stupid shit. I feel like, every artist, if he don't make the right move, he's on the verge of hustling his damn self.
Valid point.
Well, I think right now because there's a standstill in performances. There's no shows, there's no tours, nothing going on for the
Right,
future.
that's what I said.
They got to figure something out. You know what I mean? They can't go on the road and get these little brown bags, little 5, 10 grand here and there. They can't get that right now. They might not get it for the next 3 to 6 months or so, maybe longer. So they got to figure out a way to get something going on. Some of them might be handling their frustration the wrong way, but yeah, they probably get frustrated. They in the house getting cabin fever. They're trying to figure out, when the next band's gonna come, into their possession, whatever. So there's a lot of variables to, I guess, how each artist is feeling right now. I know Casanova, your good friend, just started his OnlyFans page.
I saw that. Was that real?
It's real. I don't know what the content is, but he definitely has a link on his bio.
Negro, okay?
Yeah, they were on Everyday Struggle the other day talking about how a lot of these rappers is like hurt right now.
Oh, for sure. I'm sure they are.
Yeah, there were like a lot of people don't realize because of the videos that a lot of these rappers, like, they live from paycheck to paycheck. Like, the jewelry was rented, whatever else. Like, so it's like this also
Didn't say no names, but yeah.
Yeah, no, but that also shows people like you got to make another revenue stream where you got to put out good music so
Right.
it continues to stream.
Piggybacking off of what Big D said, being at a label, like, the mindset we have is no touring, no shows for like the next 6 to 12 months. So everything is digital, everything is shifting into the digital space. I've been hustling harder for my artists. One thing I would say to all the artists that are on here and tuned in, don't be afraid to be different. Now is the time. If you like to draw, if you like to smoke, Hypebeast has a content opportunity for artists who like to draw. Like, there is an audience for it right now. Everybody's at home, and there's an audience for it. Be authentic, be real, be yourself. Don't be afraid to be different.
So is the
And can I?
Go ahead, guess that. Go ahead.
So I just want to say one thing too for us, like talking about learning new things. So basically, our biggest event every year is our V-Files Runway show. So, we've been spending like a lot of time working out how we can do that virtually and how we can, create digital renderings of people and places and things like that. So if anyone wants to collaborate with us on that, just please let me know, because we, just speaking to like learning more, I mean, we are literally just getting into our screen so close that we can create the experiences that you feel physically, that you can feel them digitally. So yeah, anyone who wants to collaborate with us on that, please just hit me up.
That is Jack at V-Files, people. You heard what she said, all you beautiful models and creatives out there. So is our MVP, quarantine MVP, going to Tory Lanez? I really didn't watch quarantine radio like that, but were we offended? Were we like, bro, you did that?
I'm going to give my vote to D-Nice. I like what Tory Lanez is doing, but D-Nice went for 400,000 followers to 2.5 million in about 2 weeks. He's been giving us a bunch of good times, good energy, good vibes, just randomly, sporadically. Damn near 2, 3, 4 nights a week. He's doing anywhere from 25 to 75,000 just randomly, and going on till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So he's been a real staple as far as keeping people serene, keeping everybody cool, calm, and collected right now. So definitely, no disrespect to what Tory's doing. He's definitely creating a platform for himself, but D-Nice has definitely been that.
Oh, yes.
I agree with Big Z. I feel like what Tory's doing is playing off of his audience and the music that he makes, but what D-Nice is doing is uplifting people.
Yeah.
So he's preying off of us being at home, and he started at a time everybody was sad and they didn't really know what to do, and he just started playing music, and we're on live with our friends watching him for 2 hours. You know what I mean? So.
Right. Me here. I sure did that. It was so cool to be in like chats with like Oprah and Michelle Obama. Like, you felt so special that day when it first started. So that was, so MVP to D-Nice. Yeah, he really deserves it the most.
I think we got to give an honorable mention to Swiss and Timbaland though, for the cult.
Yes.
Like, he really, especially for like, we talk about the youth all the time. Like, there's so many people I saw in the chat that didn't know where certain songs came from. A lot of these kids are sampling now, which, not for nothing, I like it just because I remember the time that certain songs came out before. Like, that energy still feels alive in these songs. So I just think it's just dope that they put those people on the pedestal. They gave these people their roses. And, it's just something that we needed. It felt good.
It did. It really did.
I know we're talking about top tier guys, but one person that I really, really love to see his show is Pretty Lou. I'm not sure if you guys have seen the Turn the Tables hit on IG at 3 p.m. every day. He has a new host giving like DJs on the come up, like topics to mix, and the guys will have to go and mix. I think it's a really, really great show.
Say the name of it again, Ron? We want to check it out.
Turn the Tables.
Turn the Tables.
Yeah, it's every day at 3 o'clock.
Nice.
One show at 3 o'clock on IG, and Instagram confirmed it and all that. So it's
DJ Scratch
show on there. He's got Kelly Rowland this week.
Wow, that's cool. I got to check that out.
Envy, Clark Kent, DJ Scratch. There's a lot of hosts that come in and just throw DJs like a topic. I think it's a really, really great show. And just as an honorable mention as well on IG, like during this time, I think it's a really great show.
Yeah, I'm really proud of so many creatives and what they're doing. My last T, which I kind of didn't understand. So Spotify, COVID-19's effects on the global music business. So Spotify listenership appears to be widening for classical, ambient, and children due to COVID. Spotify's listenership is relatively unaffected for pop, country, dance during COVID. And country seems to be the most resilient. Spotify listenership appears to be narrowing for Latin, rap, and rock, but potentially due to other factors and not necessarily results. So What's up with the rap and the Latin and rock during COVID?
I think for the rap and the Latin audience, a lot of these big artists are not doing anything. You know, if you think about it, a lot of the big names, the Kanye's, the Drakes, the Kendricks, they kind of sitting back watching. They're not dropping anything. But secretly, quietly, Drake is dropping something tonight at midnight in about 3 hours. So yeah, but a lot of big artists are not doing anything. So a lot of the middle tier, the lower tier, the ones that's really kind of out there just running the game right now, to be honest. But I'm pretty sure it's going to pick back up. I just think right now it's just kind of it's music is still coming out. It's just not as much right now.
Yeah, I hope that turns around for the music that we work.
And there's too many options for consumers right now. Like, no sugar. People are OnlyFans. That's what they're doing. Like, they're not only listening to music, but they're home doing other things as well. So.
And to what you said, Camille, I've read the same article about classical music and pop. A lot of folks are home now. They hear that calming music while they're working, and they're doing their Zooming and their FaceTime and things like that. You have a whole different demographic right now that's focusing folks. Of course, they're including their music selection that they play in the car, play in AirPods when they commute to or from work. They play it at home now, which is why those numbers are increasing.
Lito, you wanted to say something? I saw you.
No, I was just gonna say, man, I think a lot of people just can't figure it out either. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's so many avenues that have been like everybody's doing it that like, you know, there's not a lot of creativity. So like those who are creative and those who can be a chameleon, they're gonna succeed during this time. But like people who their only outlet is physically touching the people and doing shows, they're gonna
stop. Yeah.
I think we also got to look at the demographics too, because the people who aren't listening to rap, it's not that they're not tuned into it, it's just that now they're trying to watch everything. A lot of the demographic that comes in for these rap and Latin artists are a younger demographic. They skew a younger listener. So it's like this listener is not just going to be on Spotify or Apple Music all day. If they could be TikToking, if they're learning a new dance challenge, if they're just on Instagram or learning what's blowing up on Twitter today when Drake is unveiling his child and baby mother and all this other stuff is going on, you know? So like people are like more tuned into other people's lives and gossip and everything else more than ever right now. People rather watch and see things than just hear, at least as far as those listeners. So they were actually talking about on the Joe Budden podcast, they said it's down like almost 20%.
Wow.
On Spotify, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. So again, I want to thank my panelists. I'm honored to be in your presence. And I always think that people don't understand the importance of time and giving your time to others, because we'll never get these 2 hours back in our life. So it's important that we make them count. So if there's anything that my panelists want to promote, because we are in the business of always promoting. Ron Mills, Sirius, what's going on that you want to promote to our people?
I got free streaming through 515. Tune in. Once you listen, you're gonna get locked in. I'm telling you right now, this ain't regular radio. You're gonna listen to music the way it's supposed to be.
How many channels you got over there? How many channels?
Well, me personally, oversee probably like 12.
I'm saying the whole network. You got comedy.
Oh shit, they got like 130 some channels of all types of music, rock, pop, you know, everything. You know, go to SiriusXM.com. You know, you can catch up with everything. Got my own personal playlist too. I just started.
Hey, look at you. Can we get that?
It's on IG. You can follow me on IG, SiriusXM Mills.
There we go.
It's called Mills Knows.
Mills Knows. Big D. I know you are the king of the promoter. Let's go.
Oh man, what we got going on right now? We got the new Lox album coming out late May, early June. If you're a Lox fan, definitely tune in for that. That's coming soon. Also have a new artist by the name of Angelica Villa. She's Fat Joe's artist, young girl from the Bronx, New York, 21 years old, beautiful young lady, beautiful voice, beautiful personality. EP drops late May, so please stay tuned for that. If you like good music, definitely good music. If you know Fat Joe, you know Fat Joe has good ears. He's been doing this for 25 plus years, so you know he's not trying to lose by any capacity, so stay tuned for that. Casanova is working on a new project right now. We're dropping a new single on Cass. late May, early June as well, right around Memorial Week we're thinking about. So that's happening. Rhapsody is also back in the studio working on a follow-up to the Eve album. It's called, but if you read my lips, you know what it's called, but I ain't gonna say no more. Also in stores, not in stores, but available right now is Mr. J Electronica.
Oh, nice.
Right now as well. Last but not least, Nicole Bus is out there. Rock Nation is the label. Terror Squad is the family. I'm Big D, the Weatherman. Thank you all.
Amen. Miss Gooden.
Okay, so right now I actually also have a playlist. So if you follow me on Instagram, you can get in tune with that. It's a quarantine workout playlist for all of us who are trying to, be in better spirits when we're out of quarantine than now. I'm also been doing like different skincare routines and hair routines. Outside of that, we are 110% pushing out Black Poppy out of Philly. The streets love him out there. We're getting ready for his debut EP. We're dropping it at the end of June. The first singles are dropping tomorrow. We also about to be giving away a ton of money. He's been feeding his city every single Friday this whole month of April, feeding first responders, feeding families, feeding the homeless, and we just got a whole lot more to get to the streets. I'm excited.
Beautiful. Jade, Atlantic Records.
So Trey Songz and Summer just dropped that new track yesterday in the video, Back Home. Please go listen to that. We got Skies dropping something really soon. Who else? 22G's just dropped something, so he's up next out of Brooklyn. We're excited for him.
What's his name?
22G.
Okay, cool.
So he's up next out of Brooklyn. Besides that, I think that's it for now.
Cool. Lethal, Run It Up Records.
Yeah, we got a lot going on right now. Shout out to Max Sauce. He got his remix to Good Morning. That's coming out on the 2nd. On the 8th of this month. That has NLE Chopper and Lil Yachty on it. So that remix is coming out with a dope, animated video that's gonna come along with it. Other than that, I got Young Manny, RCA, he's dropping a project on the 27th of May. We've been dropping a video every 2 weeks. We're gonna continue to do that for the next 10 to 12 weeks. And then I got Ray Ray that we just did a deal over at Motown. He got a record called Crash Flow out of Atlanta. And Ron, I'm gonna hit your line for that remix and this Crash Flow push. You know what I'm saying? Those 12 channels.
This is what we doing.
Yeah, I'm gonna need some help with those.
Yes, Steve.
I can't forget my man Buju Banton coming out first week of June 5th.
Whoop. That's about time. It's about time.
Yeah. Big tune. You know what I mean? And again, thank you for having me this evening. I'm enjoying myself amongst my counterparts and peers. A couple of y'all I know, a bunch of y'all I don't know. So I look forward to working with y'all. I already know.
Yeah, so gotta exchange IGs and follow each other. And happy birthday, Genzi.
Grimy ass Mills, you know what I mean? So yeah.
I thought I was the only one. I thought I was the only
birthday, D.
One more before I forget.
Oh, we got 2 more though. Hold on. Trophy, Cinematic Music Group. What we got?
I don't want to cut you off. One before I forget.
Okay.
Is Gucci's new artist off of 1017. So he's dropping Trap a remix next week with Lil Baby. So he's releasing that. He's been working, and I got a lot of things cooking up for him. So
Okay, show off. Trophy, Cinematic Music Group. What we got? Promoting.
Now, the Soldier's about to drop a project called Thug Love next month. He has a couple singles about to drop off of that. He also has a project out right now called Trench Baby that y'all could go listen to. And then I have a new artist that I signed out of St. Louis that I'm not
It's a secret
about.
Okay.
Like I said, I snuck to Atlanta. I shot 2 videos, so the content is gonna be coming. You guys are gonna see him on World Star. He's bubbling, and I can't wait for you guys to see that.
Beautiful.
Got your Airbnb behind you?
Gee, stop it. Venus, last one. What we got going on? Promote yourself, sis.
I guess just stay in tune with the tech stuff I got coming. Definitely an app coming soon. And I'm also learning coding, so.
Tell them
I can't hear you.
Again, where they can find you.
Oh, okay. Houseofcreators.com, at House of Creators on Twitter and Instagram, and then I am at Venus Rose on Instagram, and Twitter is _Venus Rose.
Venus is awesome on image consultant. She's worked with us at Rock Nation. She's worked with me at different labels prior. So again, I want to thank my panel. I love you guys.
Hold on. Can I
They're still promoting people.
can I make one request?
Yes.
I know he gonna hate me, but that's like my big brother. Let's sing happy birthday for Big D. Y'all ready?
Told me not to do it. Happy birthday to you.
All right, y'all.
Thank you guys for listening. Next week is part 2 of Crip Conversations. We got Dizzy, we got Mont Brown, A&R from Columbia Records. We got Shirley Jew, music journalist, and Avery Watson, #1 publicist. We got a lot of great stuff coming. God bless and good night. Thank you guys.
Bye.
Reach out. Reach out,
Mom. Happy birthday. Jay, you gotta get a drink. After Rona, all of us, we should go get a drink after.
I ain't drinking with D. Hell no.
Yo, don't let me tell you what happened when I went drinking with D.
Oh, God,
I ain't
stop.
drinking with you, Lito.
Thank you, Frank. Bye, D. Love you.